You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
U.S. Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why U.S. Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from U.S. Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
How many times are you going to come to my press conference late?
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us, 865-658-5824. Join alongside Emilio in Tennessee. We've got Tim live in Green Bay, back to talk a little Packers as the Packers hit the practice field today. And we're going to give you all the Jordan Love updates that we got. Is he going to play Sunday? Is he not going to play Sunday? I think it's a long shot. We'll dive into all that as far as what may or may not happen. But first of all, gents, how we doing today?
Good. Well, great to be here.
Emilio said swell.
Swell.
I just want some pork chops and applesauce.
Yeah.
Swell.
I got some roast beef sandwiches coming my way after this little prime rib. Dip it in the au jus. Slap that onto some bread.
Unbelievable. Nah, don't waste it on bread, man. Come on, now. You kidding me? I got to throw the flag on you there, man. I'm sorry. We ain't having it. All right, let's do this. Let's give a quick shout-out to Drew over there looking for some tickets yourself, haven't you, Bob?
Yeah, I just still don't know how many I'm supposed to get yet. Waiting on some confirmation here. But, the fair weather fans are definitely driving the ticket prices down here with, Jordan Love probably not starting. So I think the later we wait, the cheaper they're going to be. But, no, we'll see. I'm hoping to be there on Sunday for sure. Mm-hmm. If not, I'll be in the parking lot tailgating. I'll tell you that.
Tim, I saw some of those tweets, man. They said, my family's going to the game this weekend. Should I sell my tickets? And the responses were, they're still going to play the game. So what's going on here?
If anything, you guys, we should be fanning 100 times harder, right? Let's rally around this backup and this team. It's a 53-man roster for a reason, right? We're Packer fans. That's it's bigger than just QB1. Obviously, QB1's a big deal here with our our lineage of greatness at the quarterback position. But hey, it's next man up. I don't think I need to remind folks about the Matt Flynn days where he came in and saved the season for us, salvaged some games. That's a possibility. It's early in the season. We steal a couple of wins here with a backup. Boy, I tell you, all is right in Green Bay for sure.
Definitely. United Bates with the super chat. Thank you, Bub. He says, Roundtable was a good watch. You killed it, Clayton. Thanks, Bates. Appreciate it, man. I've been talking for about an hour and 40 minutes now, guys. I got to be real with you. I'm burnt out. Usually an hour 20 is my peak, but I was invited over in place of Basarski, Baz over at Basarski Productions to fill in for him on an NFC North Roundtable. It was a lot of fun, man. Those guys are good dudes. So learned a lot, really, to be honest with you. Learned a lot about the North and kind of some of the injuries and things that are going on this week outside of just the Packers. So thank you, Bates. Appreciate the super chat, bub. All right, let's just dive into it, man. Let's jump into some of the news. If you guys would monitor the chat for me, if you see something in there, mark it, and we'll try to throw it up on screen. Definitely focus on the super chats for me. And first things first, man. The only person not practicing today, obviously, was Jordan Love. Mike Spofford had tweeted out. Wes Hockless reposted it. Said everyone on the Packers' 53-man roster practicing Wednesday except for Jordan Love. I think I'm the only person under the sun that's kind of thinking, is there a chance that Jordan plays Sunday? I don't know, man. I've seen a couple graphics of the quarterbacks that played with the same level of MCL, issue with the sprain there. Hearing Brian Balaga and Mark Tauscher talk about it earlier today too, like I think Wildy was expecting Balaga to jump in there and kind of push back on Tauscher, like, oh no, there's no, and Balaga was like, it depends on how he feels later in the week, because it comes down to pain threshold is really what it is, and I hate even saying that because now if he doesn't play, people are going to be like, oh, he's soft, he ain't Brett, he's not Aaron, but I mean it happened literally it was a week from Friday. So this thing's fresh. I think the smart thing to do would be to sit him, obviously. But if 10 goes out there somehow, some way, if they decide to brace that thing up and he goes out on that field, you're talking about getting the best out of his teammates, man, and earning some respect. But with that being said, my money would have to be on Malik Willis starting that game. Here's what Matt LaFleur had to say earlier today. Now, understand there's a few smoke screens going on here, right? I think we all understand that. But here's what Matt had to say when asked about it. Could Jordan Love play this week against the Colts? This is what I tweeted out. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur answers what that would take to become a reality. Here's Coach LaFleur.
On one day, is that door any more or less open here today?
I'd say it's pretty open.
Is he progressing well?
He's doing a nice job. He's spending a lot of time in the training room. Our guys have done a great job with him, Flea and Nate, and all our athletic trainers, our strength staff. And but at the same time, like I told you guys, he's got to be cleared. We got to feel like he can protect himself, and he's got to be confident enough to go out there and do that. Until that happens, then we're not even going to think about that.
So the vibe I get, guys, is he's got to prove to them he can protect himself. I kind of get the vibe that Jordan's already in their ear, like, hey, look, give me a shot at this. I could be wrong. Maybe it's wishful thinking. And I wouldn't even call it wishful thinking because I'm like, boys, let's err on the side of caution here. Let's give him another full week at least, right? But I don't know. It could be a smoke screen that does kind of give the Indianapolis coach maybe a little something else to think about, although the talking heads on Twitter seem to think, oh, the Indianapolis coach knows there's no shot that Jordan can play. Tim, the fact that what you just said about the tickets just a second ago, man, how cool would it be? A bunch of people sell their tickets, then game time, Tim runs out there.
Sitting in front row.
I would love it. I'll tell you what, though. I think through all of this, I think the real question is he going to be cleared?
Right.
That's like we can put feelings aside and grit and all that crap out the window. Is he going to be cleared? And if he is, so let's assume he is. Let's say he's cleared medically. Does LaFleur and Goody go ahead and pull the trigger? Or do they say, you know what, we got Malik ready. We're going to see what we got in this backup. It's week 2. I know it's the home opener, but you are the franchise. You're going to sit another week, and we're going to get another week of rehab and rest and get you up to, limited participation all the way to full participation in practice and then get you out there. That's how I look at this situation. So the first indicator to me would be if we get a report that he's cleared medically to play. Then becomes the question, do they hold him out as a precaution anyway, or do they go ahead and let him go out there? Because I don't know, man. If they put him out, let's say he's cleared and they let him play and then he really tweaks it or has a major setback, then we're not looking too hot. So I think if you put a week's worth of prep in with Malik Willis and you feel confident about him being the starter, I think you roll with that regardless of what's happening, and you err on the side of caution here. We already got lucky. We dodged a bullet. It wasn't an ACL. He didn't blow out the whole knee. Why make a bad thing worse, Yep.
I think it's a great point, Tim. And to time back into what Clayton was saying here, Jason Wise says there's no way Jay Money's playing this week. Matt LaFleur just keeps keeping the Colts on their toes like Shanahan did with McCaffrey. I think that's a great point. And even to the point of, what's going on, Zach was saying it's been 9 days of rest compared to 7. That's going to help. It was a Friday game. We're playing on Sunday. It's a mini bye type thing. We looked at that last year a lot differently.
So you're telling me there's a chance,
right? And then even to what Too Old for This was saying, Love doesn't need to practice. There is actually a good chance. Wouldn't be surprised one bit. I'm sure the team knows for sure, but want to make the Colts prep for 2 game plans. We talked about that, right? Why not make them work overtime to do that? But having that option, I mean, if Love wants to, he's good. Matt kind of said it. Even Malik said in his interview, are you nervous? It's Wednesday. Nervous about what? Wednesday, he's like, if Jordan's going to play, he's going to play. If not, I'm going to be prepared to take over. That's that. Like, got to take it one day at a time.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
so true.
Here was Malik Willis at his locker. It's going to be hard to hear. Matt Schneidman tweeted out Malik Willis, quote, just making sure that whenever my number's called, I'm ready, whether Jordan can go or can't. Just try to be ready. Here was Malik Willis.
Trying to put in as much time as I need to feel comfortable and just making sure that whenever my number is called, I'm ready. Whether Jordan can go or he can't, just try to be ready regardless. Because even if he can go, I have to be ready, just as last week. Trying to put
So if he can't go, says he's getting his mental reps, he's preparing to play. We're just preparing ourselves if he can't go. That would be absolutely wild if 10 ran out of that tunnel, man. Oh my God. But again, my money would not be on that. But
my money's on we're not going to know until the very last second anyway. Right. They're not they may already have their minds made up and they're playing this, this little game here with the media.
Because he's doing all the physical reps in the training room and all of his mental reps are still happening on the field while he's still helping, coach the backup, with little tips, tricks, and things that he knows. So,
and here's the other thing too. Like you talk about, Malik Willis maybe getting a Cliff Notes version of a game plan, right? Keep it simple, keep it condensed, keep it, not a lot of progression, maybe one or two reads and get it out kind of thing. Well, hey, you prep him all week long for that, and that's your game plan. If Jay Money's good to go, you put Jay Money in and have him run that game plan to protect the knee. You have him run the same thing, get it out quick, focus on the run game, play good defense, no dumb penalties, and we get out of there with a win. We don't need to play hero ball necessarily.
Right, because some of those highlighted plays and those X-nade plays that Malik is maybe not comfortable with or more comfortable with, Jordan knows all of them. But hey, if he's more comfortable with getting them, out of the pocket just a little bit, stepping off, maybe an extra chip or something, I like it.
Yep.
Yeah. And here's the other thing too, Tim, as you were describing that, I thought you were going in a different direction because it sparked a thought in my mind. What if Jordan dresses, Malik starts, and hey, look, you jump out to a big lead or whatever, you feel comfortable, you roll with Malik, you eke out a win here, right? Also, what if you come into the second half, close game, you send Jordan out there to finish the game, try to get the dub? There's a chance of that. Yep. Again, we're all speculating here. Everybody on this panel is saying, if you made us bet on this, we're betting Jordan Love is not playing.
Right.
But I think it is worth mentioning. And all I got to say to the people that all the snobs out there, like, oh my God, there's no chance he can play. Okay. All right.
We don't
I'm
know.
not going to say what I want to say. I'm not going to say what I want to say. But with that being said, I think Jason Wilde said earlier today, he expects Friday for Jordan to be listed as out. That's probably the likely scenario. They'll do that.
That's the last time they got to say, or that's when they have to declare it, right?
Exactly. Now, here's the thing. There are some rules in place if you withhold information, right? That your team can get penalized. Like the 49ers are facing that because their running back that just balled out on Monday night. I don't know if you guys seen that, but he came out. Remember, McCaffrey was a game time decision?
Yep.
Thursday, the running back said Thursday he was told he started. So they're like, oh, no. So
I do remember him saying that, actually, now that you mention it. I do remember him saying that. Yeah, I knew about Thursday night. And then he kind of just was like, yeah, I know, it was wild, 20-some carries.
I was thinking about what you said, Clayton, that scenario where maybe Jordan is suited up and he just doesn't start, but he's available. I think that would depend on does Coach LaFleur feel like dressing three quarterbacks? Because I think you have to dress Clifford anyway. Even if you know what I mean, you'd have to activate three just on the off chance if something if you had a setback with Jordan, then God forbid something happened to Malik. I mean, otherwise we're looking at Jaden Reed playing quarterback or something. So I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
As a coach once said, right? I like Prince in the chat here. He says, if Jacob isn't back by tomorrow, I'm sending out to St. Bernard's. So, it's like I said before, guys. Jacob is my boy, right? We became friends as soon as I started doing the pod and had him on the show a couple times and, love the dude to death. But he's like a dog. He'll disappear for a month, And all of a sudden, you come home one day and he's sitting on the front porch. So he may pop in here right now. You never know.
That's
Hopefully
a possum in a dumpster.
That's my guy right there. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Ron Samble in the chat says grade 1 medical collateral ligament, right? Medial collateral ligament. The MCL sprain is a minor sprain. Here, the knee remains stable. Low risk for additional injury. Pain management is the goal. That's everything I've heard too. It's all about pain tolerance, right? Now, like Matt said, if you're not comfortable enough on that knee to protect yourself, you're really putting yourself in harm's way to get beat the hell up. And we know Jordan's game is that hop step, that fadeaway, all that stuff, throwing on the run, off platform. If he can't put the proper amount of pressure on that knee, put himself in an awkward situation, take some big hits, man.
At least he was honing in the fadeaway, so he can lean on, he can lean back on his right foot a lot more. He can kind of just keep that left foot dangling, throw a brace on it, and call it a day. But I'm just happy when they went on the sideline and, grabbed the bottom of his thigh, upper calf, and wiggled it back, forward and back. That thing was all together, man. That's the only thing that matters is that Jordan's all right, and that on the sideline they didn't call it.
When that kneecap moved horizontally, just shifted, I went, oh no.
Yeah, but I mean, you do it right now. Put your legs straight. You can move your kneecap back and forth, right? So I mean, at least his leg was straight when all of that happened, but he still had his body weight on it. So I mean, you can slide your kneecap back and forth right now, but I'm just happy he was safe from it.
Yeah. Coach Monk says, well, after watching Mr. Willis's interview, you never know. Mr. Jordan may be playing Sunday. Stranger things have happened. I didn't get the vibe that he's going to be playing, Coach Monk, but I felt the same way. Like, it's really weird that it's like they've all been prepped to say this, right? And to me, I don't know, maybe they are trying to throw a little something extra out there so they have to prepare for both quarterbacks. I don't know.
Yep.
But
playing chess, not checkers, right?
Yeah. It's a long shot. There's no doubt about it. Dan in the chat says, I'm no professional athlete, but I have had 3 MCL sprains, coach up 2, and with weapons on offense, kick the D in the butt, win the game, and move on. I like it. I like it. And again, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's a 3-point game right now. Indianapolis has a strong front. They've got a really good front with DeForest Buckner and Kwity Paye. We'll hit on that here a little later if we have time. We'll kind of do a little PFF preview and take a look at the game kind of globally there. Respect Orange just says maybe Rodgers can help Love with his knee.
My knee.
Well, and that's the thing, man. Like,
U.S. Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why U.S. Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from U.S. Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started.
Again, that chart, I wish I could find it. Somebody posted it on Twitter of the quarterbacks who have played with a grade 1 MCL, and there was far more that played with it than did not play with it, if that makes sense, right? That sounds bad, did not play with it. We'll just leave that alone there. But anyway. All right, so Matt Schneidman tweeted this out. Jordan Love's the only player on the 53 not practicing. Here's quarterback Malik Willis to Romeo Dobbs. So obviously we got plenty of footage of Malik Willis earlier in practice. We actually had another shot of him here too. This one came in from Cody Krupp at Cody W. Krupp. Let me throw this on the screen. You get a little look at his release, his throwing mechanics, all that good stuff.
Yeah, there it is, confirmed. He throws without the laces. Did you see that?
Did he?
Yeah, we were talking about that the other night after the show. He's Troy Aikman style. It looks like.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yep. So unless he's just versatile, maybe it's just however he gets a good grip and he lets it rip. A lot of guys do that, But them first couple there looked like he wasn't using the laces at all.
And that right there, Matt was working on. He said the biggest thing that we needed to work on was just footwork. He said that I think that's the basis of every quarterback. So we were just trying to give him some pointers to adjust it, on it. But Malik is ready to work, man. He was like, those first 3 starts that I had when I was a rookie, I don't think that's the same thing as what I am today, being a year 3 guy. So I really liked his interview. I was impressed the way he carried himself.
He made a couple of comments about the media too, did he not? Amelia,
Oh yeah.
What did he say? What did he say there, man? Tell him. Roughly, just paraphrase.
They were just kind of asking him, are you always kind of even keeled? Are you always sort of, baseline like this? Or, how are you? How do you handle it around the guys and stuff? And he basically was kind of just like, yeah, I'm not really sure how to answer that. I know you guys try to get us sometimes, so I'm just trying to be cool with everybody and let's just keep it moving. So,
yeah,
I thought it was pretty funny.
So I'm just here to play quarterback, baby. That's all he's
right. Yep.
So, and Coach Monk says right here, oh, those highlights look like read option coming. That's the thing too. Just play along with me. They know the media's out there. They're allowed to record. They show him running a little zone read option, right? All of a sudden you march 10 out there on Sunday. Oh my God, I would laugh. I would laugh so hard. But Malik Willis may surprise us. Here's the thing too. We talked about Malik Willis was number 14 on the consensus big board the year of the draft, right? He fell all the way to the third round. Okay. Now, people say, okay, he's sucked. He's stunk at the NFL level. He has had 4, and this is Wildy that said this earlier today, 4 offensive coordinators in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. He hasn't had an opportunity to settle in.
So, in other words, this is not his first rodeo coming in, having to learn something different, new, get with it quickly. This is just another day for him, it looks like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said it. Every year I've had a different, these past 3-4 years I've had a different OC, different offense that I've had to learn, right? So,
and he's never had Tom Clements as his QB whisperer either. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure Mr. Clements will be in his ear plenty this week, getting him ready for this game.
Yeah, definitely. And here's the thing too, like this preseason, and it was preseason, I got it. Numbers were significantly better than both Pratt and Clifford's. Okay. So who knows, man? Again, you don't get drafted in the third round in the NFL at quarterback and just absolutely stink. Most of the time, I'm of the belief there are no bad players in the league. There are not. Mm-hmm. They're good players and they're great players. And sometimes great players don't even get to showcase that they're great based off the situation they're put in, right? Not put in a position to actually succeed. You build a game plan around this guy and his legs because he is one of the quickest quarterbacks in the league. I think there's an opportunity. Think about this. What did we put on tape week 1? Jaden Reed, jet motion, 33 yards, right? Bang. What did we put on tape in week 1? We led the league in yards per rush attempt, all right, between Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Wilson, and Jaden Reed on that one carry, okay? So you put that on tape, and then you come out and you start doing some boot action off of it. You don't have to be Peyton Manning or Joe Montana with accuracy to work a short to intermediate bootleg game. You throw in zone read with it, and you get the defense thinking, one, we got to key in on Jaden Reed. He's the home run hitter. With the jet op, forget him, in the passing game. We're talking just strictly jet motion. You got to key in on him. You got to key in on Josh Jacobs and that run game. You really focus in on stopping that run game, and then you boot off of that. I'm telling you, man, it's going to open some stuff up because you can go out of condensed 12 personnel and still hit dagger. And with dagger, it's just the targets are on the opposite side of the field. You can have the tight end, the U on this side of the formation, and your 1 or 2 wide receivers on the opposite side. You can have an underneath drag route underneath, kind of create a levels play and still have that deep crosser over the top with the dagger clearing out, right? You could throw in a little corner route with it. There's a number of different things you can do, not to mention the screen game to Josh Jacobs. There's a lot of different things you can do here. He doesn't have to be able to thread the needle to win this game. But with that being said, I'm not going to BS y'all. The way that front is built for Indianapolis, they got their work cut out for them because if they want to stop the run, I think Indy could stop the run. So the question is, can Malik Willis rise to the occasion and work off that edge like we're talking about? So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see. Many people were picking it really, really close. Like in that round table just now, one of the guys said they had Indy 17-14. That's kind of where I see it right now. I think Indy 17-14. If the defense can hold Indy in check, you're going to have an opportunity to win this game. You are.
I say, let's go with that. Make them have to try and stop the run. Let's make the run game enough of a problem for them that they got to commit. They've got to commit to that run game, and that'll allow a little pressure off of Malik's shoulders there to be able to get the ball out in time. A little play action, naked boot, get them rolling, and see what happens.
Exactly, Tim. And I mean, let's not forget what did you say? What was it, Clayton? We were first in rushing per carry. So that's right. And that was with Josh Jacobs' first 4 carries going for what, 6 yards?
Right.
So,
first half.
For first half, first quarter, whatever it was. I mean, we made adjustments and we got better and finished the game strong. I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah. And the other thing too is on rush defense, yards per attempt allowed. So the same statistic on the defensive side of the ball, we were 10th at 3.8. You shut their run down, you make Anthony Richardson beat you with his arm. Now, listen, he's got a big arm. I would force him to play that short intermediate game. I'd take away the deep shots and do it in a way with shell and run fit that you can stop the run and make him play smart underneath. So we're talking about cover 3 and cover 4 looks, in my opinion. That's what you want to throw at Anthony Richardson. Got to keep a spy in there. They did really well with Jalen Hurts last week, and they did exactly what we thought. The D tackle kind of running a little stunt and playing that spy in the middle to make sure there's no rush lane up the middle, and let's try to get pressure on the quarterback. Now, the problem was Jair Alexander had one of the worst games of his career. That's the biggest issue, right? Their number one cut our number one apart. Got to get that cleaned up this week. But who is their number one? We're going to get into all that here soon. Let's do this. Let's go offensive points per play real quick. Let me go ahead and drop this down.
For those deep balls, though, I mean, he needs time in the pocket to be able to throw those, right? So that's where our pass rush needs to step up this game. We need to churn out some sacks, definitely.
Now, offensive points per play, Indy was second at 0.62. Okay, so pretty impressive. Offensive yards per play, they were third at 7.0. We were first at 7.1. Rushing yards per attempt, Indy is 12th at 4.7. We're first at 7.8. And that 7.8 is going to come down, guys. That's not going to be the normal number this year. You're going to get closer to 5 as the season goes along for sure. NFL yards per pass attempt, Indianapolis is first at 11.2. So they hit the big plays, right, in the passing game. They like to throw the ball down the field for sure. Defensive points per plays, right? Green Bay is 23rd. Indianapolis is 16th at 0.382. Defensive yards per play, Indianapolis is 19th at 5.5. Green Bay's 20th at 5.5. They're both tied for 19th at 5.5. So dead heat there as far as yards given up. Russian defense yards per attempt, like we had mentioned, Green Bay's 10th. Indianapolis is nowhere in the top 13. So that tells you right up front, maybe you can run on this team, right? Let's stick with the run. Don't abandon it and try to stay on schedule. When you go to pass defensive yards per pass attempt, Green Bay, that's where we fell all the way to 25th at 7.8. Indianapolis is 6.4. They're sitting in the 16 spot. And then defensive takeaways per game, Green Bay obviously tied for first with 3 takeaways. Indianapolis is nowhere in the top 13 there at even 1 takeaway. They may have 1 and it's on down the list. We just didn't screen grab it. So if you could take the ball away, and here's the thing, we won the turnover differential last week 3-1 and still lost the game. So why did you lose the game? For me, it was real simple. The crucial interception by Jordan in the third quarter, that killed you. You gave them immediate field position. Emilio, you hit on it. They were what? They have 4 field goal attempts, missing 1 of them, but they just absolutely stalled when they got
red zone efficiency. Absolutely brutal.
Yep.
Bingo. The accuracy issues were there for Jordan, right? I can't imagine Malik's accuracy could be much worse than what Jordan's was there in the first half. Right.
We'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I don't know, man. That's just A.J. Brown, like I said, Cook and Jair. I'm eager to see what they look like as far as receivers go. I know they got a couple of guys. Was it Pittman? I think is still there, if I remember correctly. Michael Pittman Jr. Let me just take a quick glance. And like I said, we'll get to it again here in a little bit. But let me just look real quick at their offense. Where are we at here? Give me just a second, guys. So, yeah, they've got Michael Pittman Jr. They've got some Mitchell. They got Pierce. Remember wide receiver. God, what was his name? Alec Pierce.
Yep.
Packers were all over him one year. Everybody was saying he looked a lot like Jordy. His offensive grade week 1, 85.4. Solid. So, 4th highest graded receiver in the league last week. So, the game plan will probably be around don't let Pittman burn you. Make sure Pierce, you keep him in check. Like I said, man, make them work short, intermediate passes. That's where it needs to be. So, Anything else you guys want to add to that conversation before we dive into a little bit of running back talk? Because it looks like we might have a shot at getting Marshawn Lloyd back here.
That'd be great. I mean, as long as we were on the Colts there, Jonathan Taylor, factor always in the run game for them. And then familiar face, Tyler Goodson, someone that, we're relatively familiar with here in Green Bay. But I think it's important that, we're just as good against the run, or as good as we can be against the run, because, if we're giving up little chunk plays, that's really going to make things an uphill battle for us defensively. We want them playing on their heels, not with a full head of steam. So I hope we're good against the run.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Bill Huber tweeted out, no Jordan Love. I love how everybody's tweet started with no Jordan Love today. No Jordan Love today. Wasn't in the Don Hudson Center when we were. I like he put emphasis on that, because that's exactly what Bulaga said earlier. Who's to say that when the media leaves, if they don't get Jordan in there and get him throwing some passes around, it could happen, right? But who knows what's happening behind closed doors? Everyone else is practicing. Here's Marshawn Lloyd. So let's hope Marshawn Lloyd is good to go. That would be a nice little add of depth there as well. Maybe we'll get our first dose of him this season. I think he's going to be a dynamic rusher. I really do. Hopefully he can protect that football. We know that was the problem in college. But again, this was Daniel Jeremiah's top running back in the draft. So how do you guys feel about Marshawn Lloyd potentially being running back number 3, man, especially if we're going to lean on the run heavy against Indy?
I like the switch up, right? We need to change of pace back. We need different ways to hit them. They haven't seen them. We haven't actually even got them really on the field. So I think that it's not a bad option. And we'll take everyone that's healthy we can get out there. It's going to be a team effort. If Jordan Love's not playing, everyone's got to play. Not just for Jordan because he's gone, but for the Packers, for your teammates, for everyone that, for the coaching staff, everyone that woke up at 4 a.m. in the offseason, all that stuff.
Yep, That's right. It's a team game. I like Coach Len here in the chat. I'm telling you, pony package with Jacobs and Wilson would be legit. Yes, indeed. And I feel like all 3 of these backs are just walking explosive plays waiting to happen. We've seen Emmanuel Wilson do it. We've even seen recently Emmanuel Wilson kind of emerging as a pass catcher as well, which was something that we never really thought was a huge part of his game. But I feel like he can effectively do that, in those little checkdowns or those hitches, the leaks, those kind of things. But I think Marshawn Lloyd's a star in the making. I really do. And if we can get him in there, let's see some big boy packages. I joked about 22 personnel last night. I don't know. Could we see that? Possibly. It depends on how heavy we want to lean on that run game.
Yeah. And if you do go pony package, another thing you can do, when we say pony package, guys, we're talking about basically a 21 personnel where it's 2 T's, essentially, 2 halfbacks, not a fullback involved, right? Like with San Fran, 21 personnel means tailback, Kyle Juszczyk. With the pony package in Green Bay, it's 2 tailbacks. There's not necessarily a blocking back. You come out with those 2 tailbacks, you show a couple looks. When you go double sidecar like that too, if Malik Willis is your starter, don't roll out a little speed option. We ran a little speed option last year with Jordan Love. Not much. I'm glad he didn't run much of it because it sucked. But you get some wheels on someone like Malik Willis and run a little speed option in either direction. It's the same effect with that double sidecar that you get with a pistol set. They can't key in on which direction you're going to run the football, right? So they've got to choose. They're either playing balance or they're playing a guessing game. You get them keying on that a bit, all of a sudden you flex Jacobs out wide, you might as well be in 11 personnel, right? Yeah. Now you're kind of playing chess there. So, I could see that, Coach. And maybe they have a little bit in mind of what they had in mind with A.J. Dillon, right? They were talking about they had a plan for him. Maybe they can still utilize these backs now that you get Marshawn Lloyd back and you got a little bit more insurance there. Hopefully he plays. We'll get into the injury report next year for sure. Matter of fact, let's just jump into it right now. I think we actually got our first official injury report today. And here's how it looks, guys. From the Packers standpoint on Wednesday, Corey Ballantyne, Kenny Clark, Josh Jacobs, and Marshawn Lloyd, all limited participation. The injuries individually are Corey Ballantyne, oblique, Kenny Clark, toe, Josh Jacobs, back, Marshawn Lloyd is hamstring. So I don't like that back injury there with Josh Jacobs. That makes me a little nervous. Obviously, Jordan Love did not participate, and Adrian Cooper, full participation, man. I want to see him get some more snaps this week. I think he got 11 snaps on defense last week. I want to see that dude get up to about the 20 mark. I really do, because I'm telling you, man, That was one of the notes. After I went back and watched the all 22, every player individually, one of my key notes was Edgerrin Cooper needs more playing time because that dude looked like he belonged. What do you think about on the surface there, Emilio, with that injury report? What sticks out to you, man? That back makes me a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Me no likey that, Jan. Right? If it's if it's going to be a nagging thing, then it's an issue. If not, let's move forward and keep grinding, Josh. But I mean, we picked him up because he's a bell cow. He can get through these kind of injuries. That's why we brought him in. He's younger, all of the above. And then the other thing was Edgerrin Cooper in his interview, man. He was just like, yeah, I play fast. I was just going out there and playing, just doing what I do every day, just trying to play fast and play the game. So I think he's ready to get a few more snaps, and I think that they're going to give it to him definitely. Maybe that's a difference in 3 points, 6 points, whatever. But we won't know that until next this coming weekend.
I agree. I think, and with a rookie like that, it's so cool to see him. He's loose, man. He's comfortable out there already. You can tell that whole attitude and demeanor. Like, I'm just here to play football. Sometimes rookies can get that. They play too tight, right? They get jittery. They're paranoid of making a mistake, and they're not playing loose and fast. And you don't see that with Edgerrin Cooper at all. And he's another star in the making. I truly believe it. I think you will see more snaps out of him. I think we may see them pull back from McDuffie a little bit here and there, and pepper Edgerrin Cooper in a little bit more into this defense.
I can see it. All right, so here we go with the Colts side of the injury report. Julian Blackman, safety, shoulder injury, did not participate. DeForest Buckner, defensive tackle, back, did not participate. Josh Downs, wide receiver, ankle, limited participation. Matt Gay, kicker, hernia, full participation. And then Kwity Paye, hamstring, did not participate. Their two best defensive linemen there, guys, in Kwity Paye and DeForest Buckner, both did not participate on Wednesday. That's two names to really keep an eye on when it comes to the injury reports later in the week here. What do you think about it, Emilio, as far as their side of the injury report here, man?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would think was, for Buckner was it's not veterans rest, or else they would have noted it, right? They need a quick turnaround, definitely. But it's mostly their defense that's taking the hit. With their wide receiver and a kicker, basically our offense needs to do everything they can against them. Whoever's out there, we need to move the ball down the field and try to help out our defense with it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Tim?
Yeah, I think, like you said about Josh Jacobs with the back injury, that's like concerning. Any guy with a back injury, but looking at someone like DeForest Buckner, an OG veteran there on that defense, certainly a huge part of that defensive front for the Colts. I mean, I'm assuming he's probably going to try and go, and he may be limited. So maybe an opportunity for us to exploit those A and B gaps, get a little run game going. But, that's basically all I'm gathering really from that. And, not participating on Wednesday, with a veteran player, we'll see how tomorrow and Friday goes. If he's all of a sudden he's limited tomorrow and he's limited on Friday, chances are he's probably going to go.
Right.
Definitely. Carly, you got anything to add to these injury lists, or do you just want to talk some PTA fantasy league real quick?
Oh yeah, whatever. I don't know anything about the Colts. Who cares about them?
All right.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
As you guys know, we had our very first season doing a PTA fantasy league for our Patreon listeners, viewers, supporters, if you will. Carly sent over some images here. Carly, you just steer me in the right direction here, and give us a little update on the PTA league. First of all, is anybody getting out of hand in there? I don't know if y'all got a private chat or not, but is it?
No, there is a private chat. No, nobody's getting out of hand. I think one of the coolest comments so far was that a proposed punishment for the last place person would be to get a Mark Davis haircut.
Oh my God.
You guys are familiar with who that is.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Let me pull that up real quick. Keep talking. Go ahead.
No, but I would rather shave my head than do that. So heck no. There's no way. Absolutely not. But it was kind of fun.
Strays. Unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. Well, while you're looking for that, I'm just going to go, and for the pod too, I'm going to go over just the standings so far. I lost my first matchup with Pack and Cheese, 164 to 181. Dane's Dazzling team won against Mike's Marvelous team. If you guys are in the chat here in the show tonight, shout out. I don't actually know who that is. It'd be great if they could put their YouTube name. There we go.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, heck no.
That is a birth control haircut if I've ever seen one. I'm just telling you. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's all right. And then Dave C., who he was saying he hadn't played fantasy in about 10 years, so he did pretty good for his first matchup. He beat Big Jake. And then we have CJN with his team name Aaron It Out, who beat Pack Daddy for their first by quite a few points there. And then if you want to switch to the next one, there you go. And then we got Hunka Hunka Burnin' Love, who beat Trevor from Virginia.
Dang.
Good amount of points. Yeah. Jordan T., the Immunizers, beat Chris N's team there and Immunizers also got the biggest amount of points here for this first matchup, and then Numbskulls narrowly beat United Bates in that first matchup.
Oh, come on, Bates.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I'll tell you what, man, the Immunizers, and of course it's got Ron Swanson as the profile pick too. Love
200 points.
Right. Man. You got a couple other graphics here. Is there anything we want to hit on here, Carla?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to show I thought some really interesting scores that maybe went different than what people have thought. Like Josh Allen, I mean, he's pretty amazing as a quarterback, but I did not expect Aaron Rodgers to get such a low point total. It kind of went with how his game went, right? Obviously, we know fantasy is not football. That's the reason it's called fantasy. So we're not saying that he played terrible or anything, but it's definitely, I don't think, what anyone expected when picking Aaron Rodgers as their first quarterback.
Got it.
Oh, it must be Mike Berry. Is Mike Berry Mike's Marvelous team? Mike Berry, you need to put your whole name in the thing so we know who you are, because there are several Mikes around. So
there you go.
And then here we go. We got Geno Smith and then Tua Tagovailoa here. 37 points is just a great score. We see that there, how the Immunizers, Jordan got such a high score. And then we got one to show Jaden Reed down here representing the Green Bay Packers at 28.5 points. Let's there. Yeah, pretty sweet. You get extra points for any completions over 40 yards, like 40-yard reception touchdown. You get a higher score for that. And then I also wanted to show here, our scoring is a little bit different in this league. This league is pretty crazy, but here kickers actually do make a difference. So I would like to point out Jay Moody here, San Francisco kicker with 26.6 points, and then Cleveland defense right there at 21.9. So if you're smart with your last picks, those aren't throwaway picks. Those are going to win you some games.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Cleveland defense showing up big time there. Holy cow. So do we have the standings? Did we hit the standings at all? We don't have the standings, do we? But we do know in first place, I guess, is the Immunizers. Is that right?
Yes. And it's going to go kind of like the number of wins. I mean, right now, just because we've only had, 1 week, it's just the point totals. But as we go on, it's going to be the record, just like regular games.
Yeah. So if I'm glancing at it here, yeah, I see what you're saying. But the top 3 scores of the week, the Immunizers with Jordan T., Numbskulls with Lazy Pyro, unbelievable, and then Hunka Hunka Burnin' Love in the number 3 spot. So great job, guys. Appreciate the update, Carl. It's a lot of fun. We're gonna hit on it from time to time throughout the year for sure, and that way we know who to rag on too. Who scored the least amount of points? That's where we're gonna start. Let's see. We got a 133.49 by Pack Daddy.
Oh, we got Mike up there.
Mike's Marvelous.
I thought it was Trevor from Virginia. What was he? 113.
Was it really? Was there a 113 stinker in here?
Oh, no, it's 133. I'm sorry.
133.
All right. That's fake news, sir. Yeah, Mike's not so marvelous team. Mike, you're going to bounce back, man. I got money on you, all right? You got to bounce back, my man.
Mm-hmm. So, but he knows with this.
He said rigged.
This show, definitely.
Good stuff. Carly, thank you so much for the update. Anything you want to hit on here, or do you got to bounce or hang around or what?
No, I can hang around.
All right, awesome. What we're going to do, guys, that's going to wrap up hour 1. For those of you listening on the pod, we'll see you on the other side for hour 2.